some big news for you. As we reported earlier on in the show, and has just been released now, a grand jury has indicted disgraced lawyer Alex Murdaugh with 2 counts of murder and 2 counts of possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime in connection to the June 2021 killings of both his wife, Margaret, and his 22-year-old son, Paul. This is something that we were all expecting the grand jury to do. It was just a matter of time for it to come down. Joseph, one of the most odd aspects of this, if you read the indictment, is that apparently investigators say he shot his wife with a rifle and then his son with a shotgun. 2 different guns for 2 different people? What do you make of that?
Yeah, and not only are they 2 different guns, but they're shoulder-fired arms, which is really kind of odd, Jesse, when you begin to think about this. You're talking about a long weapon, a long shotgun, okay, not a pistol, and then we've got a long AR platform weapon. One other very important point here is that we have been speculating all along and have been asking this question: was there more than one shooter out at the scene? And I'm looking at the South Carolina SLED, or the Attorney General posting right now, and they specifically say in this that he was charged with two counts of weapon possession. I don't know how much we can take from this. You're the attorney, but looking at this and reading this, this implies that they're looking at him as the single shooter in this
Yep.
case. Because one of the things we were thinking about all along is, how do you manipulate 2 weapons like this, long arms that have to be
Well,
shoulder fired?
let me ask you real quick, because you be the expert on this, all right? So yes, it appears by all accounts looking at the indictment that he be the only shooter. Is it possible, can we tell based on the wounds who died first? The reason I say that is perhaps this was a killing of one individual, there was a passage of time, and then used a separate weapon to kill the second person. Maybe it was, again, this is pure speculation, but someone didn't notice it at first, or noticed it and ran away, and he was able to retrieve another weapon. If there is can we tell a distance in time between the two fatal wounds?
If the investigators did their work at the scene, okay, and that means trying to determine postmortem interval at the scene. That's going to be body temperatures, and specifically core body temperatures out at the scene, to try to determine how long these individuals had been dead. And it's not an exact science, but we're looking at core body temperatures, setting in rigor mortis, postmortem lividity, all these sorts of things, and trying to determine who died first from that perspective. And a lot of that is, I'm not going to say it's subjective, but it's not as a fine science as people would have you think that it is. Most of the time, the best we can do is 2 to 3 to 4 hours, trying to pinpoint that target in time. It's hard to get any closer.
Right.
That's where phone data comes in and all these other issues come in. And we'll see this played out, Jesse. Very exciting development here.
It really is, and we should say that there's not a ton of details that have come out as of yet. It's still an active investigation, but clearly a very big development in this case, and I think a lot of people were waiting for an answer as to what happened to these 2 individuals, and now you have an indictment down, that has just been handed down by a grand jury.